Bill Kilraw, Williamson County, retired Navy captain. The process you're going through is a thing I've experienced many times over the past, and it's common as long as you have a plan in place that supports a strategy for being able to have an optimized workforce and a long-term plan for training new people to bring in the experience you need, which minimizes wasted cost. When I was on the National Command Staff for the Navy Reserve Intelligence Command, I was one of my many hats. One of them was reviewing the 20 commands around the U.S. for what was called a Mission Accomplishment Plan. And this was just a military variation of management by objectives. But essentially what it was is each one of the regional commands had 100 or more officers enlisted and specialists that were trained, and you had to have an ongoing plan that was a year out, 5 years out, et cetera, on how you were going to continue to maintain a readiness level of 1 so that you could do things like what we did in Desert Storm. We could mobilize sufficiently and fast. So each one of these plans comprehended the entire staff at each one of the regional commands and exactly what training was needed for those people who were quite at the readiness level 1. So my question to the Commissioners Court is essentially is that when you have these different departments, especially as a large department like the Sheriff's Office, do they have such a plan in place that looks out 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years that comprehends the requirements being achieved at an affordable staff and salary level that meets and is affordable to the citizens? So this is not a complicated thing. This is something that's Management 101 that's been taught and executed by good managers for years, but it sounds to me that probably the Sheriff's Department could use a whole lot more help in this area of coming up with a plan that can be incorporated into the budget before it's approved, which is essentially what we did in the military. And that was one of the reasons why I got a Navy Commendation Medal, because I did these plans at the national level. And when Desert Storm came along, we were the command that mobilized the fastest because we had all of our ducks in order. We had the plan in place, we had the resources ready to go, and the commitments from all of our regional commanders. So I don't think probably you've been given an adequate plan from the Sheriff's Department. Bill Kilraw, Williamson County, 6th generation Texan, Williamson County for 40 years. Last week I made a citizen comment about getting an explanation on the fuel purchase order. I found it interesting that the commissioner could bring up commissioner's comments to the front to talk about a personal agenda but not answer the citizen's comment in question. Fascinating. But anyway, moving on to a more fun thing for tomorrow is the Halloween cycle. Everybody gets to put on their costumes, have fun, pretend to be a lot of different things like a dancing judge. Maybe someone would like to borrow some of my continuing law credits that I've had in 15 years of law experience in the real world. Could use it kind of as fairy dust to legitimize the costume. Anyway, nightmares also come along with Halloween. I'm sure there's a number of people out there that you know that are having nightmares about the possibility of someone coming into the courtroom and having full credentials and has worn the real uniform and has 40 years of experience on how to get the real job done. It's got to be a nightmare for a lot of people. And then also the media gets to have their fun too in the Halloween world. They get to really hone their skills at the smoke and mirror routine and creating stories and scaring people and putting out their misinformation. Doing things like making ghosts and apparitions look real with their skilled writing. So anyway, we're going to have fun during this Halloween season and enjoy the results. So if you all